Hello, you can call me MJ, and I'm here to serve. I've been serving most of my life in restaurants, even some Michelin-starred ones, so fine dining and other less fine dining when I started out, but I can no longer do that due to a physical disability. So I would still like to serve in whatever way I can. And fortunately, when I was not working, I was oftentimes studying, watching documentaries, reading articles and books, or listening to audiobooks, talking to people, doing other jobs as well. But I've done quite a few, and corporate and government jobs. I tried a few, but mostly I ended up working in restaurants, which gave me a lot of free time to study, which a lot of other people haven't had because they've been too busy. So I guess that's a fortunate thing that I can use that and to serve others, although a lot of the things I've learned other people have not learned, and it has caused some friction and division at times with people who don't believe some of the things that I shared. But that's all right. I guess it's just they weren't ready for it, or it's not for them. Since we all have our own realities and universes, then what's true for one isn't necessarily true for another. And you can't exactly spoil surprises for people. They have to learn certain things at their own rates so that they can understand them. Kind of like a foundation. You can't, build a roof first. You have to start with the ground and build up. So there are certain things that you just can't learn until you learn others first. So, and if you have to put your own will and effort into it in order to learn certain things. Others, not so much. You can choose to read a book or watch a documentary, but you don't necessarily choose how that affects you, what all is in it, and what you take out of it and get from it. So that's how it is for everyone. I suppose this may be difficult for some people because at times I won't be sharing specific pieces of information because you just can't be that specific sometimes. Again, because people are on their different paths and in their different realities, then again, you kind of can't share things blatantly for all at times because it may not resonate with everybody the same. So I'll just share what I can at my own rate and at times be as general as possible to reach the most people. So I'll be covering every different subject you can imagine because that's what I study: technology, history, biology, psychology, media, product reviews, things that I use and have spent a lot of time researching and finding that replace a lot of name brand products, and sharing a lot of tidbits that I've picked up from different teachers and mentors and guides. And one of the first things I can share is has to do with the shirt that I'm wearing, which I don't know if you can see. Having a sense of humor is very important to lightening up, and this is a little pun, a little play on words. It says frequency, up yours, since some people, they're all about, raising their vibration, raising their frequency. This is a little, again, pun with English. So, having a sense of humor is very important. One of my favorite mentors' mottos is, first step to enlightenment is lightening up. Simply as that. Enlightenment, it's right there in the word, light, enlighten. So lightening up on yourself, on others, on everything in general. Some people just take things too seriously, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's very embedded in our language. And if you're serious about something, you take it seriously. It's very important, but it can be negative too at times. Not having a sense of humor about something can be a negative thing. I think that should be obvious to some people, but or if you're in a serious relationship, what if you want to be in a lighthearted relationship? I think that sounds more fun. So either way, just kind of words with relative definitions, but that's another important word or concept is relativity, as Einstein put it. But because everything is relative, like I said, what's true for one isn't necessarily true for all, since we all have our own relative realities. And everything is relative from a perspective sense as well, in terms of everything is related to different degrees. You, me, planets, plant life, animals, stars, everything. So just a matter of focus and perspective again. You could also say everything is consciousness to different degrees, different densities. Everything is energy, different frequencies, different forms. Some people have a division between this is matter, this is energy. It's all energy, really. You could say matter is just a specified form of it, but again, it kind of loses its definitions are very language based in a sense. So in different language, things have different meaning to different people who speak the same language. Things have different meanings. So, and even to the same person, things have different meanings depending on how they change, because everything changes, and ourselves included. So again, my goal here is to serve others and to share, information, knowledge, perspective, good energy, and a lot of other things that I seem to have learned that other people have not yet. I find it quite important, relatively speaking. They say knowledge is power. I think Francis Bacon, there's a quote attributed to him. Maybe someone else said it before him, but that's my reference for that saying. And another interesting character there, historical figure. But so yeah, I find the more you know, the more you can do. If you're, I often use the analogy, if you're in a forest and surrounded by plant life, some of it may be poisonous. It would benefit you to know what's poisonous and what's edible. So again, that's where knowledge is power. It can actually save your life. So again, I find, service can be sharing with others, but I know that I can't share everything with everyone, and nor do I need to. Your education, your knowledge is more up to you than it is to me. And your life is more up to you than it is to anyone else. So this is, doing what I can for whoever this appeals to and whoever can receive this positively and act upon it and do something with it. Again, all different subjects, because that's what I've been studying. And you'd be surprised. Some people would think that, just because I've mostly been a server, that means that I can't know certain things. Obviously, I know things about, food and drink. I've had quite a lot of both. Very, high-end quality of both. But again, that doesn't mean I haven't been studying everything else in my free time, which I have. So just because someone has a certain profession and, is a certain label, doesn't mean they can't know other things. And you'd be surprised also, perhaps, that some people who you might think would absolutely know something sometimes don't, because of their profession or their label or their degree. Due to misinformation or manipulation of people or scientific studies, research, documents, things like that, photos, videos. Anything and everything you can imagine has been manipulated, but again, I find it quite valuable to go within, to search within, to look within, and outwardly as well. But you kind of first and last have to know thyself, as the old saying goes. So again, what's true for you may not be true for another. One truth that I've discovered is basically there is no one truth. All truths are true, or everything is true from different perspectives. So, it's all simultaneously occurring parallel realities in a sense. And we're constantly shifting through them, our consciousness and our bodies themselves. Things are so much more magical than people can imagine. Basically, everything you can imagine and more is real and exists in different parallel realities. So just because you may not think something is real or exists doesn't mean that it doesn't. Just maybe that you haven't discovered it yet. And again, I can't spoil surprises for everyone. You kind of have to do your own homework, your own research, your own exploring. So it may be just something that you haven't discovered yet. But everything, all the mythology, what people call myth or science or religion or philosophy, they're all interpretations. It's all based on truth and reality. So people just have, again, maybe the divisions may throw some people off and lead them to believe that this is real and that's not. But in time, perhaps maybe not this lifetime, but eventually you'll learn that all of it's real. So, but again, we'll definitely get into health topics as well, because that's obviously a huge, important subject for everyone. But again, it's kind of different for different people. What foods someone can eat, another will kill another person, without food allergies and things like that. And so it goes. So, I can give general truths and information, but it won't necessarily ring true for everyone. It won't be useful to everyone. But, synchronicity, it should find who needs to find it. Let's see, health. Health is a big issue, obviously. And one truth that I've learned, at least from my perspective, is that your health is up to you. You are the ultimate arbiter of your own health. You create your own diseases and healing according to what you need to experience. And that may be difficult for some people to grasp, but it's all based on, the choices that you make and what appeals to you and your preferences and what you need to experience in order to learn lessons and graduate, as some say. Raise your vibration, and your consciousness expands through lessons and experiences. So as I speak to you now, I'm sitting next to nature. I have a nice window here looking out into my neighborhood, which is full of life, people and animals, birds and chipmunks and squirrels and dogs and obviously trees and flowers. And it's beautiful. I find that's a really important aspect of health, is being more connected to nature. And it's not just that you live in nature, but you are nature. You're an aspect of nature. We all are, reflections of nature, or God, if you prefer that term. All that is, another descriptor for that concept. I find it's good to be close to that. And remember that we are of nature. We are nature. So we are all that is, and experiencing everything from different points of view and perspectives. So, let's see, what else can we get into for now? Maybe that's a good introduction. I guess maybe, brevity is the soul of wit, I've heard. So maybe I don't want to get too heavy or too much in an introduction. This is a simple introduction to me, the things that I'll be talking about and will be exploring through perhaps the coming years. And so again, this is my service to others in a certain way for the time being, because my physical disability prevents me from doing my previous job. So this is an adaptation. This is what I can do while I'm still here. We'll be getting into everything, some basic needs that most of us have, at least most of us who are able to understand this communication. But we'll be getting into every subject, media that I view and come across. And I just discovered a new instrument recently, which is awesome, that I'll share. So much to go over. There's everything to discuss. So I'm actually excited about it. This is a good outlet for me, and hopefully we'll be able to help some people with this. I don't even have to hope. I know. Knowing is a level beyond hoping and believing. So I know it will reach, who it needs to reach through synchronicity. In the meantime, until the next transmission, until the next video, be well. I wish you the best. Love yourself and others. Forgive yourself and others. And infinite love and light to all. Thank you. Peace.